Let's go!
Casual audiences don't like neutral. I'm going to be brutally honest. The 90% of people that buy fighting games don't give a fuck about neutral. But does it mean that you have to tailor all of your content around that? No. But there needs to be an understanding. There needs to be a point in between to understand, like, what do casual people usually like about fighting games? What do people that are above the casual level like? And then the super hardcore. And the further you get towards that hardcore end is so much dramatically smaller, right? The amount of people that are there. So my goal is to appeal towards the largest majority possible. If you appeal towards the larger majority, you have a chance in getting any one of that majority into the hardcore slot. That's been my experience over the years. To at least try to understand what's happening on the screen and make sense of it so that they can make a connection with their character, you know? To the point where they like go to Evo, or they care about tournaments, or they care about patch notes, that kind of shit. Like, that's, to me, the most valuable thing. I've introduced something to someone that they didn't even realize exists before. Very large majority of people that buy fighting games, very large percentage, just think that you're doing this. Very large majority of people that like fighting games that are not anywhere close to hardcore, they honestly think that the harder you press the fucking buttons and the faster you press them, the better you do. Is that a bad thing? And here's the thing, it's not, because that exists everywhere. Everyone thinks something is stupid easy and they can do it until they actually try it, and they're like, this is actually super hard. I have no idea how people are good at this shit. So the fact that people think that isn't a problem. That's actually completely normal. To me, the goal and my whole gimmick over the past 10 years has been to bridge that gap. Let auto combos exist? Let auto combos exist. I think people that are just mashing their face on the buttons should absolutely be given cool shit to happen on the screen. As long as that's not the best thing you can do. If the auto combo ends up being the thing that's one of the best things to do, then there's a big fucking problem. Oh, I'm doing this thing, beep, 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 whack. Oh, cool, I did it. And then you go up against some guy that goes beep, 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 relaunch, beep, it, beep, 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 beep. Super, you're like, what am I missing out on? How do I do that? There's a real good reason, chat, why this video is one of the most popular videos on my channel. The most frequent question I get is, if I do auto combos, how do I stop doing auto combos, and what do you properly do? Casual players want to do the cooler shit. People will get to a point where they want to do cooler stuff and not just press the one thing over and over again. Doing this stuff is fun. It's cool to learn shit in fighting games. It's enjoyable to see you to figure something out, and now you're doing the cool new thing instead of just the face smash, you know? It's ultimately taking away the stigma of that stuff that, man, playing fighting games is like having to go to fucking college. I have to get a fucking degree in frame data if I want to be good at fighting games? No, you really don't. You really don't. You can just start playing the game at a low level and then take gradual steps. A lot of casuals get super intimidated by fighting games when they watch, like, even someone like me, which is an absolute median level in like every fucking fighting game. People think that they don't have to take the steps to eventually get there. People just want to go, whoop, I just want to jump up to here. That's just not the way things fucking work. You don't go into a math class where you start off with basic subtraction and addition. Now I'm just going to apply this shit at like geometry. No. Oh, there's so much other shit that you have to go through. It's like the weird advice where I remember hearing this when it first came out. When Tekken 7 came out, everyone's like, what do I do to get better at Tekken 7? And everyone said mobility. Practice your Korean backdashing. Practice your your character mobility to get out of the way of things, because that's a huge part of Tekken. Oh yeah, what they're saying is absolutely true. However, if you're at this fucking level and you tell someone to start practicing their Korean backdashing, they're missing, like, there's so much other shit, which is why usually the thing that I recommend people do at like this level when they're down here isn't a specific thing of like do more combos, learn to defend, right, utilize the mechanics more. No. People down here just need to play the fucking game. People down here just need to be exposed to the game to get an understanding of how does it even work? Is this a game that, do I anti-air people? Is this how do these characters work? Do I know how to fight like at least half the characters in the game? If the process of you playing the game to get to the part where it's like, okay, I understand how the game works. If you don't get there, then stop playing the game. If people drop out at some point in between all this shit where it's just basic playing the game to, oh, this is how this game works, that means you didn't like the game. That means there's probably another fighting game for you. This is what happens with a lot of like modern fighting game information. A lot of it wants you to be up here. And people are just like, what's a hentai air again? And you're like, okay, let's go back down to here. Let's take it back down to here. Yeah, people are trying to speed run fighting games or some shit. And it's like, no, dude, here's the thing. If this part isn't fun, if you like just playing the game and getting an understanding to the game isn't fun, if you're not enjoying this process, which is honestly, this little chunk that I'm talking about down here is the most fun you're probably going to have with the game in general. You know? This is some of the most fun fighting games get. For the very large majority, this discovery process of just figuring out how this shit works is a fucking blast. If that isn't fun to you, then you're probably gonna stay casual. You're probably gonna stay at the point where you just like hitting some fucking buttons and seeing some shit happen, which is fine. This is why the majority of fighting game players and this great pantheon of people that play the game are gonna remain at a skill level that is like down to floor, you know what, like 6 or 7, the lower floors that represented the new players. And that's totally fucking fine. My whole argument, once again, is that people try to jump. They try to get like, go up here. And it's like, you use like the most basic of understanding and people are just wondering, why am I losing? And some people don't even like want to. Some people have really like, what's the right word? Superficial? People have like really weird reasons for wanting to get really good. And it's not that, you know, you get like professional players and they're going to give you crazy good advice, right? Superfluous? They're going to give you really high-end advice that applies to like getting you a lot better at the game, you know? But usually like the goal of a lot of casual players isn't to be like the fucking best and to eventually reach here. They want to like beat their brother or some shit. I just want to beat my friend that's talking some shit. You know? I just want to... My friend's been talking so much shit, I just want to beat him. Tell me what I should do. And at that point, you can be like, oh, go pick Leo and then do this run-through move and never stop. And then he comes back, he's like, I don't have any friends anymore.